with all of your years' experience teaching and seeing the changes to teaching over the years, what would you have to say to the political candidates who are running for office about education and the future of education?
You see, what I've seen is politicians have hijacked the institution for their own purposes. All they have to do is start making speeches about kids dropping out, teachers not doing their jobs, kids graduating from school without knowing what they need to know, kids ready to go into college, and it sounds like, boy, we need to get him in there so he can fix it up. And man, he doesn't know anything about it. And so we have people who don't know anything, don't know what they're doing, don't know what they're saying, using the schools to get votes.
Mm-hmm. And what should it be? What should it be then?
What should it be?
Like, what would they come in and do?
They need to turn the schools over to the people who are in the schools, not the people up at the district office, the people who are in the schools. If you want to know what's happening in my room, you need to talk to me, because I'm there every day, all day, every minute of the day, making thousands of decisions. And if you think you can make them for me by telling me what I need to do, and you don't even know my kids, you've never even been in my room, you've probably never even been in the school.
So how would that affect the politics of changing the...
That means the system needs to be changed. The curriculum needs to be changed. The lockstep, tradition-bound, one-size-fits-all curriculum, as long as you have that, nothing else is going to matter. You can have requirements, you can have testing, you can have anything you want, and it's not going to do it. So unless you have sat in on schools, unless you have talked to teachers, then, for instance, let me just give you one thing that would make all the difference in the world. There are at least 50 million people that know a whole lot about school that nobody has ever asked them for anything, and they can tell you. That's the kids. The kids know which teachers are teaching, they know whether they're learning, they know whether stuff makes sense, they know whether things come naturally, they know whether things are too hard for them, but we don't ask the kids. I personally went through school, I went through 12 years and nobody ever once asked me what I thought of the teachers, of the schools, of the lessons, of my learning. They never once gave me a questionnaire of some kind that I could fill out about what I thought of the school. They wouldn't even let me give a thumb up or a thumbs down signal. In a self-contained classroom, I'm with a teacher over 1,000 hours. I know what that teacher does. I know what the lessons were. I know what I learned and didn't learn, but they don't ask me. They ask her, and she puts silly notes on the dumb thing about he tries hard, or he doesn't try hard enough, or he's always clowning, and that's what good is that? In fact, these tests that they're giving now remind me of doing an autopsy, and I've never seen anybody recover from an autopsy.
Like, how so? What do you mean an autopsy?
Well, they go to this point and then they see what you've learned on a one-dimensional test. They see what you've learned. Now what are they going to do with it? Mm-hmm. The school year goes out, they start next year, they start over, they start learning, they give them a test again at the end. Mm-hmm. You know, the saying, of course, is that you don't increase a pig's weight by weighing him. Mm-hmm. But that's all they do, is they just give these stupid tests, which cost billions of dollars because the testing industry was in charge of getting it set up.
Mm-hmm. Well, if you were president, then what would you do?
The president doesn't really have anything to do with it except to the extent that he may or may not be a leader. Mm-hmm. Because before the stupid No Child's Behind Left Act that came up, the federal government contributed between 3 and 6% of the funds of schooling. They didn't pay for anything and they didn't have anything to say about it. Then all of a sudden they decided to have things to tell the schools what to do, and what they told the schools cost them billions of dollars. They supplied part of it, but not all of it, and what they supplied didn't cover it, and what they were covering was worthless anyway. So what we have to do is turn the schools back over to the people who should be in charge of the schools. The fact is, there are some systemic problems, some problems with the system. And it doesn't matter what the people in the system do if the system is doing. It's kind of like that old saying that if the premise is stupid, then everything based on that premise is stupid. And what we're dealing with is a system that is fouled up. And you can't blame the workers if it's the organization that is messed up. Now in this case, the organization is telling teachers what to do, and they're trying to micromanage the teachers. They're trying to tell them specifically the things to do, when the whole idea of teaching is for a teacher to make the decisions that are necessary for the kids to learn. And the teacher is the only one who knows what's going on in the classroom, the only one who knows where the kids are and what they need. To have predetermined lessons, predetermined curriculum, to decide that by the end of the 3rd grade they must have learned this and the 4th grade curriculum will consist of this, then it's already messed up and it makes it impossible. We know that in homes where you have 2 parents who are educated, the average number of words that they hear in a week, on each day's basis, is 20 to 50,000 words. Where in one home where there's only one parent and he sleeps, or she sleeps part of the time and works 2 jobs, and when she's up doesn't talk to them, they may have only 400 or 500 words, and so they're not ready. And when they come in unready, we call them at risk. And they're at risk of failing because they're not where we think they should be for our predetermined curriculum. And so we have built-in, guaranteed, predestined failure for some kids. And when they're behind, they're not interested in competing. And when they're behind and they see that they can't keep up, they're no longer interested, so they lose interest. And then when they see themselves as failures, then they don't try. And so we have kids that begin dropping out in the 1st grade because they've already figured out that they're behind.